What is emotion? If we look at Disney Pixar animated film Inside Out, we know that the film set in the mind of 11-year-old girl Riley, with personifying the basic emotion: joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. The film is based on the research of American psychologist Paul Ekman, who studied the relationship of human emotions and their facial expressions. In his research, there are 6 basic emotions which include the 5 emotions that features in the film and surprise is cut out from the film. In this film, audience is told to embrace their negative emotion, especially sadness, because the person will see as weak and wrong if they're feeling sad.
Just don't touch any other memories until we figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Feeling of sadness is instinctive and its nature part of life. Crying can be the indicator of sadness. It often happens when we experience the pain of losing a loved one, fail of achieving the goal, or lose a sense of control. Sadness is an emotion that trigger to seek for comfort, bonding, and understand who we are. In Inside Out, sadness guides Riley to recognize the change of her life and reunite with her parents by seeking comfort from her parents. Therefore, embrace sadness, let it unfold to allow ourselves to feel in a healthy and safe capacity. In the film industry, editing can be one of the various techniques that filmmakers use to express emotions. It is proved by an experiment that done by a Soviet filmmaker Le Kusher. Kusher has an actor staring at a camera and intercutting with 3 different shots: a bowl of hot soup, a little girl in a coffin, and a beautiful lady. The result of the experiment, audience emotionally understand the man is hunger, the man is sad for the loss, and the man had desire for the women. As the result, filmmakers can use editing to guide audience to feel the misfortune of the character and the recollections that can fill audience with sadness. In this video essay, we will be understanding the power of editing can stir up audience emotion in ways that they might not realize and bury the details into audience subconscious and only realize later. There's no right or wrong of editing, but finding an appealing and unique way to stir up feeling through the use of editing is the challenge. Hence, in this video essay, we will understand how editing can be used to express sadness. In the early stage of post-production, editor receive the various shot from each scene. It is important that editor go through each shot as it can assemble dozens of possible combinations which create different mood and tell different story. An establishing shot or wide shot show the sadness, loneliness of character and how the character feel in feeling small within the scheme of a thing. On the other hand, close-up are often used in the film to express a character misery. Extreme close-up is even more intense and emphasizes the character's sorrow life. It is because it can only focus on the character facial expression without any external action.
We didn't need dialogue. We had faces.
Charles Darwin once wrote, "Facial expressions of emotion are universal language that biological determine," and Paul Ekman mentioned people can learn how emotion look like on face through the mass media as well. Hence, audience understand the character great use of sadness at a certain incident by using a close-up of her facial expressions. In a series of My Beautiful Woman, there are 3 short films tell the story of 3 women and the sacrifice they make. In the first short film, the wife had been trying for years to get pregnant. When the dream finally comes true, the doctor brings the bad news as well. A wide shot of the wife standing alone in the dark room looking at the baby crib show the sadness and worry at the same time as a mother-to-be. But nothing is more impact than the first shot of the wife. The facial expression show her pain and the shot has informed audience to emotionally prepared as it's bound to bring tears. As the film progresses, more close-up shots are used to express the feeling of sadness. Hence, editor's choice of shot determine the mood and the degree of the sadness. After the stage of choosing the shot, it comes to the most powerful part of editing. A century ago, Soviet filmmakers explore and experiment the power of editing, which is known as Soviet montage theory. One of the best examples will be Battleship.com. It is a revolution propaganda film that acts to convince, change people's mind and attitude. The shots edited together do not flow, instead they clash and conflict with each other. In the scene of orders are stabbed, we see the soldiers are armed and inhuman, the citizens are unarmed and vulnerable. The juxtaposition of different shot collusion create a contrast and audience can clearly see with whom they should sympathize. The film is a success as it convinced the people to join the revolution, influence the politics through the emotion response from the audience. Today, most of the films are edited digitally, which allow the editor has more freedom and easy to experiment the arrangement of shot and sequence to tell a story that has bigger emotion impact and get audience emotionally invest in the story. Suffering is a controversial music video and it was banned from YouTube until it released a cut down version. It was a controversial topic in 2011 because of the visual. It has huge impact to the audience. The storyline of the music video does not have a vertical timeline of the incidents, but audience clearly understand it is a story of a heartbreak Heartbroken Girl. The music video is juxtaposed with sex sequence, rodent food, mongoose, cockroach, and facial expressions. The juxtaposition of shot established the lost, sad, depressed of a girl after the breakup in a condensed time. Silence of Love is a story of the relationship of a mute father and his less than compliant teenage daughter. Although it is a commercial, but a lot of film critics agree it is a sad and depressing short film. An audience can relate to it. In this short film, audience able to see two different perspectives. The film begins with the daughter's point of view, which she expressed the upset feeling for not having a better father.
หนูอยากได้พ่อที่ดีกว่านี้
Then the film gives audience another look into the whole story and show what lay behind the act of a silenced father. It is the father's hope to see the daughter grow healthier and trying his best to express his love for on her birthday. Audience feel the heartbroken father when the father is too afraid and terrified to think about losing his daughter. Then flashback occur and remind the daughter has she forgot how her father had been loving and caring for her. Furthermore, the purpose of editing is not just keep the plot moving but control. Margot Booth, the Hollywood pioneering female editor who was a supervisor editor in MGM for decades.
Margaret Booth, she used to say, your responsibility for the pace of the movie, it's your responsibility to get the best.
Pacing is about the timing of the cuts. The degree of holding the shot at a certain angle, certain length allows certain train of thoughts to happen. It guides the audience in their emotion responses. Therefore, an emotional scene, especially a sad scene, is often slow paced. By holding the shot intentionally long enough, allow audience to feel the sorrow of the character and the sadness of the scene.
You can't let them leave me alone. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone.
The great thing about Christopher Nolan film is the pacing, the approach to build a scene and how it plays with the entire film. One of his films, Interstellar, the scene where Cooper accesses far and there were years of message stored. The scene plays slow and steady to create and build the misery of the father. The shot of Cooper is holding and pushing closer as he is watching his son from a teenage boy has grown, became a married man and a father.
Oh. I met another girl, Dad. I really think this is the one.
Then it goes to a close-up shot of the video monitor where Cooper is staring at it as it is the first time his daughter sent him a message. It showed the disappointment of the daughter towards her father for not coming back home and fulfill the promise. The pace of the film built out a regret father who left the earth with a burning desire to explore into unknown, and he realized he made a wrong choice when he is in front of the video monitor because he missed the childhood of his children. Audience emotionally understand the agony painful of an absent father. In addition, editing need to mirror the story symmetry. In a story arc, film goes up to climax then comes down. Each scene has its own arc as well, which means every moment in the film is symmetrical. Another word for symmetry in the context of storytelling is balance. There are endless of editing options, but finding the balance of a storytelling is a psychological need in a film. It means it won't be able to show the darkness without the light, the sadness without the happiness. A balanced symmetry ensures the editor able to achieve a maximum amount of emotion responses. In Up, a montage sequence of Carl and Ellie Merritt's life. A 4-minute montage sequence without dialogue shows the heart-wrenching roller coaster of emotion about life lived together between Carl and Ellie. It showed the happiest moment of them, but it also showed Ellie's sadness and Carl's mourn for his loved one. In this sequence, the part where Ellie learned that she is not able to pregnant was considered cut out from the film because Pixar thought it might push things too far. The director Pete Docter pushed back because it lessened the emotion impact of a long and beautiful life they will share and lost together. With the part which is originated in the film, audience is greatly saddened by the incident, and most importantly, audience has more emotionally invested in the story to show the importance of a balanced story. The craft of editing is constantly changing based on the thinking process of an editor and the technology. Editor plays a dynamic role in the film. He or she controls how the film should look and feels to the audience.
For an editor, it's the frames, all right? And you know, the one frame off or 2 frames added or 2 frames less. There's a difference between clunky, clumsy crap, all right, and orgasmic rhythm.
Technology makes editors' job easier because of the evolutions of editing system. Editor used to be physically cut and paste for the film. Today, editor is editing digitally, which allow editor has a range of expressions and emotions that never seen before to achieve the maximum emotion responses. We understand the power of editing, able to manipulate audience emotions that editor wants them to feel.
The manipulation of the elements within a film is a very powerful thing. It's almost a sacred thing in a way, because you're creating effects, you're creating responses in the audience.
We know that no shot exists by itself. The impact of a shot comes from a shot before and affect the shot after. A new meaning is created through the juxtaposition of shot. Audience will be emotionally invested in the story because of the choice of a shot, the meaning of the sequence, the pace, and the balance of the storytelling. Ultimately, what makes the audience feel sad about the film is the story. Although images is the first thing that catches the audience attention, but without a revolution of storytelling in the end, it just palls. No technology can ever replace the ability of a story that audience emotionally connect to.